Good evening, everyone. We're going to wait for Hi Manya. Nothing much. This is just a small live for people who are planning to move abroad for their studies. Uh, if they have any questions, and how do you go about it, and how do you plan that? We would wait for 2 minutes more, and we'd start once we have a few more people. Thank you everyone for joining in. Just one more minute and we are going to move ahead. Belgium, depends on what course you're looking forward to. Okay, I think a few more seconds and I'm going to begin. You all can drop in your questions below in the comment section. Meanwhile, I talk. In the last 5-10 minutes, we are going to address all the questions here. Manya, we can talk personally as well if you want to completely go through the whole conversation discussing about all the opportunities. Okay. Okay, so we have started having questions here, which I'm going to address for sure in the end. Our team is going to note down all the questions meanwhile. So good evening everyone, this is Barkha Sharma and I'm the founder at Psyheal, and today we have planned this Insta Live especially for people who've been asking whether to move abroad or not, what is the right time, how do we plan, how to go about it. So there are several questions because it's not as easy as it looks like. It's I would rather say it's easy to go if you have the right technique and the right perspective inside your head, but what all comes with it, how do you step by step take the whole planning forward, and how do you move about it. First of all, we had this question in the story that how do we decide what to do. The first thing that comes to your mind when it's about a career. Forget international, forget study abroad, or forget India or abroad right now. The first thing that comes to your mind is how to go about selecting a career, right? Now, it's obviously a detailed, customized, or maybe individualistic way of choosing a career, because something that works for me might not work for a friend of me who's maybe living nearby, or who's my colleague, or who's my classmate, because we all are different. There are individual differences within all of us. But there are certain factors, or there are certain points to keep in mind when we move ahead before we select a career. So first thing first is we have to find out what has been my passion, what has been my interest, what is something that makes me feel like, when I do this, when I look at this, I feel like, okay, this is the right thing. And I can imagine my life doing the same thing maybe 70% of my life, or the 80% of my lifetime, because that's the time period that you're going to spend in a career. Now, I have seen, when I have had a word with a lot of students, that recently only, I'm not going to name the student, but there's this person who came to me that, ma'am, I know that I won't be able to do law. it just my parents have been talking about this option since 2 years, and I am since that time trying to convince myself that okay, this is the right option for me. Law can be an option for me, but somewhere inside my heart now I know when I have to pay for a coaching now, a hefty amount, I feel that I'm going to take a wrong decision. What to do? Now the point here is, you've always been aware of what you like and what you don't like. The point here is the lack of awareness is the thing that has been there, जिसकी वजह से शायद हमने ये wrong decision लिया. And moving ahead in life, अब 2 साल because your parents have believed कि आपने लॉ ही करना है, because that's what they were talking about, and also you were agreeing to it all these while. Now the point is, क्योंकि हमारे पास अवेयरनेस नहीं थी, या हमारे पास बेस्ट काउंसलर अवेलेबिलिटी नहीं थी, या हमें किसी ने ये चीज़ नहीं बताई, या ऐसे इवेंट्स, ऐसे लाइव्स या ऐसे चीज़ें हमारे आसपास नहीं हुई जिससे हमें ये एक्चुअली पता चले कि व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट वी हैव टू कंसिडर बिफोर टेकिंग अ करियर ऑप्शन एंड व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आई डू लाइक. Now it would take a lot of time for her to go and talk to the parents, convince them, because it will be a shock for them as well, since they have been listening to the same thing since very long period of time, and suddenly you go and tell them that मुझे नहीं करना है, then it would be obviously a shock phase for them. Now the first thing, इसीलिए बोला जा रहा है, this is the right time if you're in class 11th and 12th, and also if you're in class 9th or 8th, wherever you are at this point of time, wherever you are. It's important that we discover what we are passionate about. Next thing, we have to make sure, now once I know this is something I like and this is something that really looks like fancy to me, वो उतना नहीं चलेगा. कोई भी चीज़ सिर्फ fancy लगे उतना नहीं चलेगा. उसके आगे हमें ये भी देखना है whether my aptitude, whether my skill set would lie in that phase or not. So I would have to see if maybe if I like the idea of flying aeroplane. I like the idea of designing clothes. It's so colorful, so vibrant, so a lot of field work, meeting new people. It looks fancy. It's something that I like, something that I would want to do, something that I am interested in, just interest. Now I have to also work on seeing or maybe validating if my interest really matches with the field, including my skill set. So whether if I talk about designing, क्या मेरे पास visualization skills हैं? एक डिजाइनर के पास जो पहली स्किल होती है वो होती है स्पेशियल रिलेशन, which is about how do I imagine things, how do I visualize things. क्या अगर मैं आपको बोलूँ कि I give you a picture of a shape and I ask you, you reverse it twice here, twice there, and see अब क्या अब उसकी शेप क्या होगी, अब उसकी पोजीशन क्या होगी. अगर मैं ये सोच के इमेजिन करके विजुलाइज करके बता पा रही हूँ, that means I am good in spatial relation, or let's say it's visualization. Next, now this is just one example. There can be a lot more examples here. When it's about flying an aeroplane, it's not just one thing coming with it. It's not just about flying an aeroplane. There are certain other skill set that you would have to have. You need to have mechanical bend of mind. You need to be really quick and swift with your actions. You need to have a very strong concentration and focus, and a lot more thing. You don't know what goes in that cockpit. You don't know. They also have to see what kind of clouds are there, what kind of speed we have to look at, and there are so many things. So इसीलिए सिर्फ इंटरेस्ट होना काफ़ी नहीं है. मैं उस इंटरेस्ट के साथ how good I am with those skills also is very important. Next thing, now when I know this is my interest and when I know this is my aptitude also lies in it, the next thing that I have to see it is how as a person I am, and as a person क्या मैं उस field में survive कर पाऊँगी. So if there's a field of meeting new people, something which requires people style, something that is about field work, something that is something where you have to deal with a lot of people. You have to be at the front almost all the time, and at the same point of time, as an individual, you are an introvert. Then it might be a problem. See, you can change also. The personality is something really dynamic. So I'm not saying you would change from an introvert to extrovert, बट कुड बी दैट आप अपने अंदर ये स्किल सेट शायद इनबिल्ड कर लो कि अगर सिर्फ ऑफिस आवर्स होंगे या जो मेरा वर्किंग टाइम होगा उसमें मैं मैनेज कर लूंगी. बट अगर आप नहीं हो ऐसे, आपको नहीं पसंद है ज्यादा बीइंग विद द पीपल अराउंड एंड meeting new people most often and kind of doing the field work and all, तो शायद आप उस काम को एंजॉय नहीं कर पाओ. नो मैटर आपको कितना अच्छा लगा वो देख के, नो मैटर आप कितने अच्छे हो उसमें, बट आपकी पर्सनैलिटी वहां मैच नहीं करेगी तो आप शायद आगे नहीं बढ़ पाओगे. दी 3 बेसिक थिंग्स एंड देयर आर अदर सेवरल फैक्टर्स एज वेल. हमें ये भी देखना होता है कि मेरा मोटिवेशन क्या है उस चीज को आगे करने का, ट्रेंड्स क्या है, क्या ये करियर आगे आने वाले 5 साल 6 साल में उतना ही एक्टिव रहेगा. व्हाट इज द फ्यूचर ऑफ वर्क एंड एवरीथिंग विच वी आर गोइंग टू कवर इन आवर नेक्स्ट लाइव सेशंस एज वेल. नाउ कमिंग टू द पॉइंट. नाउ फर्स्ट थिंग दैट कम्स, जब मैंने डिसाइड कर लिया कि मुझे ये सो एंड सो कोर्स करना है, तो पहला क्वेश्चन दिमाग में आता है इंडिया से करें कि बाहर से करें. जो क्वेश्चन बहुत बार हमारे स्टोरीज पे और बहुत बार बच्चों ने पूछा है. नाउ हर दोनों अप्रोचेस के अपने प्रॉज एंड कॉन्स हैं. ठीक है, इफ आई टॉक अबाउट इंडिया, there are certain courses, there are certain fields जिसके लिए हमारे पास बहुत अच्छा इंफ्रा है, फैसिलिटीज है, फैकल्टीज हैं, एक्सपोजर है. बट एट द सेम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम there are certain courses, there are certain fields which would be better if we move abroad, we learn, we come back and then work here as well. So अगर मैं positive points, India, so I mean, I'm one person who would always say you move abroad but you come back to India, because we have a lot of vacuum here. We could do a lot more things here together milke and take our country to next level again. But at the same point of time, yes, अगर आपको cultural exposure चाहिए, आपको नए ideas चाहिए, नई technique सीखनी है. For example, we talk about textile industry. Something that we have in India might not match with something we have in Europe. So if you want to go and see how the different industries work there, how they kind of come up with new techniques every single day, you have to go there, you study, you take the exposure, you come back and you utilize it here. Or it's totally up to you if you want to stay back there as well. Now, किस country जाना है, कहाँ जाना है, it totally depends on what kind of courses you're looking at. So if you're looking at maybe psychology, look at UK or Europe. I'm not saying other countries would not give you good exposure for psychology, but right now ज़्यादातर जो crowd है, it goes to those countries. Also, if you're going to go for something technological, engineering or these kind of courses, go to Germany, go to US. Canada, I think, is one country which is good for almost all the courses here. I mean, people who would like to who are looking for settling abroad, who are looking for good exposure, and looking for a friendly environment, because there's so many Indians there, you could go to Canada as well. And yeah, I mean, so for every country, there's a specific, for example, if we talk about fashion, if we talk about fashion management, talk about designing, then we have London, we have France, we have Italy, we have these kind of countries which will give you really good exposure to the fashion field. Now coming back to the question whether India or abroad, I would say that it's all about your this thing, I mean your perspective on how you take it ahead. मेरा पहला मैसेज सबको यही रहेगा, मेरा पर्सनल पर्सपेक्टिव है ये. आप लोग डिपेंडिंग ऑन दैट कैन टेक योर डिसीजंस. यस, moving abroad would give you a lot of opportunities. One, they have started giving you scholarships which can help you affording the education there. Second, the kind of exposure that you're gonna get there, you're not gonna get here in India, because अगर हम बाहर की countries की बात करें, and if I talk about let's say NYU, or we talk about Canada, maybe we talk about University of British Columbia, and a lot more university, like a good university. वहाँ पर सिर्फ इंडिया से बच्चे पढ़ने नहीं आते, वहाँ different countries से आते हैं. We can have people from China, from other countries as well. So meeting different people from different cultures can also be an asset for you, because you get to learn a lot. Because this is my own experience. हम लोग कभी भी आइसोलेशन में ग्रो नहीं कर सकते. वी वुड नीड टू हैव डिफरेंट पीपल, डिफरेंट माइंडसेट टू ग्रो. बिकॉज अभी अगर मेरे आसपास सिर्फ मेरे जैसे लोग हैं तो मुझे सिर्फ उतना ही पता है जितना मुझे पता है, जितना लोगों को पता है. अनलेस मुझे कोई नए फील्ड से आता हुआ कोई कैंडिडेट मिलेगा, तभी मुझे शायद नई चीजों के बारे में पता चलेगा. तो अगर आपको कुछ नया सीखना है, नया एक्सपोजर चाहिए, तो ऑफ कोर्स. एंड यस, ऑफ कोर्स, if I talk about, I am having said that, I am not demeaning or I am not putting down our Indian universities down, because I believe they also have a really good exposure to things. They're still growing as well. But if I look at the ranking and an overall perspective and a holistic approach towards it, yes, abroad universities are going to give you a lot of opportunities. Also, one more thing, what I believe is, if you earn after a course of time, after your bachelor's maybe, the amount you earn here compared to the amount you earn after a bachelor's from a good university abroad would be 3x or 4x for sure. Also, जब मैं ये बोलूंगी तो फिर आप ये भी बोलेंगे कि फीस भी तो डबल है या ट्रिपल है या और भी ज्यादा है. तो आई वुड से yes, there are scholarships and government और public दोनों sectors से you would get funded. But at the same point of time, you're also going to get opportunities. जितना आप पे करोगे उसका रिटर्न उतना प्लस उससे ज्यादा भी आएगा. सो ऑल्सो एट द सेम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, आज के टाइम पे लोन्स और जो कोलेट्रल फ्री लोन्स, इनफैक्ट अगर आप अच्छी यूनिवर्सिटी में एडमिशन ले पाते हैं तो आपको कोलेट्रल फ्री लोन्स भी मिलते हैं. तो यू कुड लुक थ्रू देम एज वेल. But at the same point of time, coming back to the question again, India or abroad, my one-line answer would be, it totally depends on what course you're looking for. If you think there are these courses can be studied here in India as well, and then you can maybe go for a master's abroad, please do that. But if you talk about MBA, MIMs, and all the major master courses, you surely can look abroad options as well. I would like to look at other questions here. I've covered 2 questions, right? What about like thinking to move to Canada? Canada is a very nice place right now, as per everything. I mean, most of the students are looking forward to Canada. If you're looking forward to settle there and maybe start up something of your own or something like that, yes, it's a good option. Now you would have to tell me what option you're looking forward to so that I can guide you further. Mane is asking medical stream ke liye. Yeah, you can look at Belgium, Russia, and a lot of BSc honors in science field. You could look at Germany, Netherlands, and Canada and US as well. Karandeep has done his MBA from Amity University. So you would like to, Karandeep, you would have to elaborate more on whether you're going to do a degree first before moving ahead with Canada, or you directly asking me how do you go to how do you reach Canada without studying or something like that. I'm not really understanding your questions. There's a question which asks, how do you build an adequate CV for college? Very good question. Now you all have to remember, when you're looking for abroad universities, it is not just your marks. Okay, unlike what we have been thinking, हमारे सिस्टम के अकॉर्डिंग कि आपके नंबर 90+ आएंगे तो ही आपका एडमिशन होगा. अब्रॉड यूनिवर्सिटी में ये पर्सपेक्टिव नहीं है. There are several things which comes into place when I talk about abroad careers. There is there is of course the one parameter which is your marks. Then marks के बाद there is your idea, your motivation of moving ahead, which is called statement of motivation or statement of purpose, which includes points or the storyline, where you come from, your culture, your background, what have you done throughout your life, and what are you looking forward to, why you're looking forward to this country and college and everything. So we are going to have separate Insta lives and workshops regarding how do we draft an SOP. Next, of course, we have the letter of recommendation which comes from our teachers and people we have worked with. So if you're a student, if you're a school student, then it comes from your school teachers, your counselors. And if you have worked somewhere, if you're working professional after bachelor's and you're looking forward to a master's, then your professional LOR also is required. CV, of course, is a good pointer. CV structuring is a very important step that you have to take. Now we have we have been going through a lot of templates. हम कोई भी template उठा के, we build our CV. We don't know the difference between resume, CV, and all of that. There's a proper template which is professional template that goes to universities. There's a proper way of drafting it. It's something that needs to be included is 1 year education for sure. Then of course your work experience in a way that in a chronological order, right? Then where you work right now, then where have you worked one by one, step by step. Then your additional information which includes maybe your research experience to your extracurriculars, your achievements and everything, and then your technical skills, so that they don't have to obviously they would want to hear about your hobbies, but what they're actually wanting to know is your technical skills you have developed through your hobbies. So not just your hobbies, but what have you built up through your hobbies. And a lot more things. Again, I mean, we won't be able to include every single point here in this Insta Live. I'm going to have another live seminar, webinar, workshops. There are so many webinars and seminars coming in future regarding these things. How do we construct a CV? And wherein you all can bring all of your informations. We'll have a proper webinar when we sit together and we construct the CV. Also, when we construct the CV, we get to know what are the gaps that we have to bridge before we move ahead, which is called profile building, which is again a certain other segment of planning to move abroad. So there are a lot of things that we have to keep in mind when you move abroad. This was just the glimpse of something that is required when we move ahead to a career abroad, because it's complex, but it's not difficult. I would say it's a little complex, but I would not say it's difficult. If we understand the concept one by one with clarity, we are going to sail through this. The point is just you have to reach out to the right person, you have to reach out to the right people to do that. And Psyheal is there for all of you, to help you with all the questions, all the queries that you have regarding careers abroad. If you need any help in your application, if you need any help in preparing yourself to move abroad, even if you're planning to move abroad maybe next 2-3 years, it's the right time that you start working on yourself. And the program is a mentorship program, wherein as a mentor, we at Psyheal will help you understand your profile better, identify what are the research gaps, how we can plan better, how we can work on ourselves to get through the good university. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about getting into any university, because there are XYZ so many universities, but not every university is good. The target is tier 1 university, which comes in top notch university, because वही university आपको job opportunities and exposure देंगे. Yeah, I think do we have more questions before we wind up? I think I've covered. Nishta is asking college abroad for masters in psychology. Before that, Nishta, we have to work on whether our profile is ready to to choose the colleges, because पहले हमें ये देखना है कि हमारी expectations क्या हैं after doing psychology, what do you want to do, which field you want to do, and then selecting the country and then shortlisting the colleges, which is again a proper step of the whole process of moving abroad.
Ma'am, there's this question, Norway for psychology.
Sorry, I'll just have a look into the questions. Norway for psychology, I would just say that we'd have to look at the colleges and the exposures and the curriculums. There's certain parameters to select a college. But before that, let's look at colleges in UK, colleges in Netherlands, colleges in Canada before we move ahead to Norway. Norway is a good place, but then as compared to the rankings, as compared to the overall holistic view of the college, I would rather say if you're going to do psychology, look through these colleges, these countries' colleges first. And if you would want to talk about these things in detail, you can for sure get back to us. Drop us all of your questions and your queries we can get back to you. We can reply to your questions and queries. And if you would like to come book a session with us, go ahead with that as well. I'll also to inform you to better sensitize you towards the process and everything. We are going to conduct future sessions, webinars, workshops as well. People who all are in Meerut can come to office and attend the workshop, and people who are not in Meerut and they're all over the country, then we are going to have the webinar as well, wherein we all can connect together and have more thorough knowledge about it. I think, thank you for the compliment, Ayushi. I think we're all done. I hope you've all got some gist of how do we plan and how do we, the first question that comes to our mind when you think of bahar jana hai, padhne jana hai, तो कुछ चीज़ें दिमाग में आती है. I think वो कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ी clarity मिली हो. And yes, मैं अभी भी ये चीज़ mention भी करूँगी साथ में कि ये प्रोसेस एक बहुत ही कॉम्प्लिकेटेड प्रोसेस होता है, बिकॉज कुछ भी मिस हो सकता है. डेडलाइंस कब हैं, कैसे जाते हैं, वीज़ा कैसे होता है, अकोमोडेशन कैसे देखते हैं, उससे पहले कॉलेज की एप्लीकेशन भी कैसे फिल करते हैं. इट्स नॉट एज सिंपल एज वी थिंक, बिकॉज इट्स नॉट समथिंग similar to what we do in India, because application process is entirely different there. So वो सारी चीज़ें complicated हैं. But having said that, I would also would like to mention that it's not difficult. We all can together discuss, clarify, have good counseling, and then apply for the best colleges for yourself. And I wish all people who are planning to move abroad will get through a good college and a good admit in their hand. Good. I think we're done. Thank you everyone for joining in. It means a lot. We are going to have more lives like this, more questions. Please drop in the questions and see you very soon. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.